September 2025. The world holds its breath as Operation Iron Reprisal begins. 31 nations, once America's staunchest allies, launch a massive assault on the United States. Their goal, not conquest, but to force the US back to the negotiating table after its shocking withdrawal from NATO. The plan is built on speed, precision, and overwhelming pressure, designed to cripple American command and control within 96 hours. But there's a fatal flaw in their strategy: by cutting itself off. The US has also severed NATO's access to its satellites, intelligence networks, and logistical backbone. The alliance is about to fight a war against its former leader, blind and partially disarmed. The invasion plan is bold, targeting the US East Coast with 3 coordinated strikes. The main amphibious force aims for Virginia, home to the strategic naval station Norfolk. A second force will hit Florida's Panhandle to seize Eglin Air Force Base and divide coastal defenses. Simultaneously, a third column of European troops will push south from Canada into Maine. The objective is to paralyze the US military before it can fully mobilize. Warnings are issued for civilians to evacuate targeted areas. NATO's fleets, air forces, and special operations units are mobilized for a lightning-fast strike. No nuclear weapons, no mass civilian casualties, just surgical strikes on command centers, deep-water ports, and air bases. But the cracks in NATO's armor appear before the first shot is even fired. Without American satellites, they are forced to rely on Europe's Galileo system and a patchwork of national satellites, significantly degrading navigation and targeting precision. The long, fragmented supply lines stretching from Greenland, Iceland, and Canada are dangerously vulnerable. Convoys carrying fuel, ammunition, and tanks sail under the escort of warships, but they are slow and easily tracked. Worse still, many of NATO's most advanced assets, like the F-35 fighter jets and attack helicopters, depend on American parts and maintenance. Every flight hour, every mission, wears down equipment that cannot be easily repaired or replaced. The entire operation is a high-stakes gamble, resting on a logistical chain stretched to its breaking point. If the initial push loses momentum, the invasion could collapse into a catastrophic failure. Just before dawn, the American East Coast erupts in fire and chaos. NATO cruise missiles rain down on airbases from Virginia to Georgia. For a brief 30-minute window, British and French fighter jets own the sky, escorting paratroopers toward their drop zones. Special forces teams simultaneously launch a daring raid on a missile silo in North Dakota, while helicopters descend near Norfolk. But America's response is swift and brutal. Patriot missile batteries roar to life, Aegis destroyers light up the sky with interceptors, and F-22 Raptors scramble to reclaim the air. On the ground, the legendary 82nd Airborne Division moves rapidly to block key roads, while Marine units deploy mobile anti-ship missile launchers along the coast. A U.S. submarine, lying in wait, sinks a lagging French warship. Hundreds of NATO soldiers are cut down before they even touch the sand. Although they manage to secure a small part of the beachhead, their losses are staggering. The American counterpunch is devastating. From deep inland, U.S. HIMARS launchers fire a relentless barrage of GPS-guided rockets into the crowded landing zones. Apache helicopters, like hunters stalking their prey, swoop in to eliminate trapped and disorganized NATO vehicles. Long-range coastal missiles find their marks, turning NATO transport ships into floating infernos, sending tanks and troops to a watery grave. Overhead, B-1 bombers, flying from bases in Texas, launch long-range missiles, obliterating NATO supply convoys far out in the Atlantic. Meanwhile, America's secret weapon comes into play: its interior lines. Utilizing a vast network of railways and highways, Abrams tanks, Paladin artillery, and Bradley fighting vehicles are moved with incredible speed. Within 24 hours, U.S. armored forces are repositioning faster than NATO's hobbled drones can track them, turning the continent's sheer scale into a decisive defensive advantage. As the physical battle rages, a war unfolds in the digital realm. NATO unleashes a massive cyber attack. GPS signals are spoofed, sending U.S. drones off course. Power grids flicker and fail. The 911 emergency system is disrupted, and banking systems freeze, sowing confusion and panic. But the U.S. Cyber Command is prepared. Elite units move quickly to isolate infected networks and restore critical systems using hardened backup satellites and secure underground fiber optic cables. Then, they strike back. European communications are targeted. Undersea cables connecting the continent to the outside world mysteriously fail. NATO's satellite signals are jammed, turning their intelligence screens into static. Target data becomes stale and unreliable, just as American cruise missiles, guided by a fully functional network, begin to find their marks with chilling accuracy. NATO's command and control structure begins to disintegrate. With their undersea cables cut and the Galileo satellite network weakened, European command centers are flying blind. They can't communicate with their forward units. Drones lose their data links and fall from the sky. On the ground, NATO troops are stranded. Their movements slow and predictable. They are exposed. The U.S. seizes this opportunity, using its superior intelligence to fire precise missile strikes into NATO's fuel depots and concealed positions. Artillery batteries and supply columns are wiped out before they can even move. Stranded and without support, the invading forces become easy targets. The U.S. cyber warfare campaign didn't just fend off an attack, it actively accelerated NATO's collapse from within, turning up the pressure on an already failing invasion. The very land itself becomes an enemy to the invaders. The marshy Virginia coastline funnels NATO's armor into predictable choke points, making them perfect targets for ambushes. The Appalachian Mountains create a natural barrier, preventing any westward advance and forcing them onto easily defended routes. Even the vast, open plains of the Midwest offer no safety, leaving them completely exposed to America's superior air power. American forces exploit their home field advantage brilliantly, blowing up bridges, blocking roads, and even flooding river valleys to stall the enemy's advance. All the while, the U.S. domestic road and rail networks operate seamlessly, moving fuel, ammunition, and reinforcements with unmatched efficiency. In stark contrast, NATO is dependent on a handful of vulnerable ports and exposed convoys. Every lost ship, every destroyed truck, further weakens their already fragile supply lines. The logistical nightmare deepens with every passing hour. The final act begins as the U.S. mobilizes its immense reserve power. National Guard units from Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Tennessee are activated, reinforcing air bases and forming new defensive lines along the invasion corridors. Within days, the defenders outnumber and, more importantly, outsupply the invaders. NATO's frontline forces are now critically low on everything. Their F-35s sit on the ground, out of missiles. Their tanks are running on fumes. Their artillery has fallen silent, their shells depleted. The landing zones have become death traps, and the resupply effort has completely failed. With the enemy weakened and cornered, the U.S. launches a full-scale counterattack. 3 of its most powerful armored divisions, the 1st Cavalry, 3rd Infantry, and 1st Armored converge on Norfolk. The 82nd Airborne secures the northern flank while the Marines hold the south. A continuous storm of HIMARS, rockets, pounds NATO's rear positions, shattering any hope of an organized retreat. The result is a brutal, decisive battle, the largest mechanized conflict fought on American soil in over a century. Apache helicopters and mobile armor sweep through the remnants of the invasion force. The beachhead at Norfolk is overrun. The force in Florida is crushed. The northern column is routed and chased back into Canada. Thousands of NATO soldiers are captured or forced to surrender. The defeat is absolute. Operation Iron Reprisal ended not with a bang, but with the quiet collapse of a logistical house of cards. NATO's over-reliance on American technology proved to be its undoing. Had they managed to seize a deep-water port and neutralize U.S. air power in the first week, the outcome might have been different. But in the end, the combination of America's vast terrain, robust infrastructure, and technological independence proved insurmountable. The United States remains the undisputed master of its own homeland. Thanks for tuning in to this hypothetical scenario. If you enjoy deep dives into military strategy and geopolitics, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content. Let us know in the comments what you think would happen in a situation like this. Until next time.